Hello and welcome back to the When You're Podcast, the podcast for when you're doing anything. Today we're talking about when you're excited for tomorrow. So guys, I've recently been trying to be a little more upbeat, a little bit more positive about where I'm going in my life, what I'm trying to do, or the things that I want to do, the things that I want to succeed in. And more oftentimes I find myself thinking about all of the past mistakes I've made, or I've kind of been focusing on like time that I've maybe wasted doing other things, or maybe I should have started sooner on other stuff, or thinking back on like all of like on the internet or social media or like jobs and whatnot, and you kind of look at opportunities that were available at the time, or opportunities that you should have taken, or things that you should have done during that time instead of wasting it or messing it up. But I've kind of grown to accept the present and be excited for the next day, be present in my life and stop reflecting on my past, or to stop not reflecting on it, but to stop living in there, or thinking that if things went differently, or if things went my way, I would be in a better spot, because the truth be told, there's no guaranteeing that. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to think about like tomorrow as like in what we can be, what is we can create a whole new life. That's an awesome thing. That's something that I always think about. It's something that I'm always like, I could literally wake up tomorrow and move to Japan and live a completely new life. Like that's in my realm of possibility. Or when I think about like people who immigrated to the United States, or people who immigrate from any place, they travel, they move to a new place, they find somewhere they like, and they're just like, this is for me, this is where I want to be. And they create a new life there, it's a lot to think about. And that new life, it really is what makes hope for us. It's what makes hope for a lot of people, a hope, a possibility, a chance at getting everything that you ever wanted, or having those things and being where you want to be and doing the things that you want to do, Like the life we think about, which is like, we can spend all the money we want, we can do whatever we want, we have the freedom, the luxury, the what's it called, the joy of traveling, the joy of being interested in our hobbies, the joy of using our free time doing things that we want to do, and not having to, using everything that we have at our disposal to live the life that we want, instead of trying to be something else, instead of trying to be something where we're forced to do, forced to do this job because it's the only skill that we have, forced to do this because we need to make money in order to do that, or we have to behave a certain way, or we have to do certain things because that's what people tell us we have to do, or we feel like we've outgrown certain things. Or there are plenty of moments where we're just kind of like, oh no, what I can't do that, but the life we think about is, I am that person who has millions or billions of dollars, and I can do whatever I want, and I can help people, and I can really impact change and help my family out, or I can make them like not work anymore, or I can pay for them to go back to school, or learn new things, or give them an experience because they've given me so much, Those are the things I think about. That's the life we think about. And sometimes it's just like reality sets in and you have to be like, man, and that's the hope of that new life. And there's also tomorrow, there's also the possibility of the life we don't know about, right? Like, you wake up one day and you're like, I don't ever want to be married, or I don't ever want to have kids, or I'm so over relationships, or I don't think about like having a boyfriend, or thinking about having a girlfriend, or I'm not thinking about like this person's going to be the love of my life anymore because I've been like, this person kept on messing me up or doing this or that, right? It's just like, but then we wake up the next day and it's our wedding day. We wake up the next day and we have a baby. We wake up the next day and we get a house or an apartment, or we We finally get that TV we wanted that looks amazing. We get that new video game. We get that video game console. We get that new camera. We get that new whatever we're passionate about. You know what I'm saying? We finally got that to travel to that dream place, right? And these are things that about our life, about our lives that we're kind of like, I didn't know I would wake up and live in New York City, but I love New York City now, and I'm glad to be here. Or I didn't know I'd wake up and I'd live in Miami, but now that I'm here in Miami, it's great. I love the sunny weather. I love the whole atmosphere of the place. Right? These are things that we don't know about, or we don't think about, or we don't expect in our lives, or we didn't expect our lives to go, but it's the way that we kind of go. And that's what I kind of feel about, like, not to be too wild here, but it's like when I look at the not when I look at, okay, hold on, let me rephrase. Kind of like okay, this is going to be a little wild, but like when I see an Instagram model and then they have that link to their OnlyFans, right? Like they promote it. I'm just like, they probably went to school, or they were probably young and they had like other things that they wanted to do, or other things that they were ambitious about, right? They didn't think that their beauty would lead them to a subscription service where they can like make a bunch of money doing the bare minimum, so that way they can do things that they always wanted to do, right? Like buying a very expensive house, or living on the beach, or owning this or owning that, or working with these places, right? Like these are all things that we didn't know about, but we kind of get. But then there's the opposite of the coin, right? Like they didn't know that was going to happen, or that's the way that the world was going to turn. But now that it has, it's like, wow, this life is amazing. It's crazy, you know? And then the kind of like, you can kind of debate whether or not it's the right or wrong thing to do. But then they can do that and they're fine. You know what I mean? They're doing what's right for them. And then there's the opposite side of the coin, which is the life that essentially they earn, or people earn, right? So tomorrow is all of that time and effort you put into law school, and then finally graduating, or finally becoming a lawyer, finally getting hired by that firm, finally being a real lawyer. And then you're kind of like, well, I'm stuck under, maybe it's not what you thought it was, or maybe it is exactly what you think it is, and it's easy for you, or it's something that consumes a lot of your time, and you're just kind of like, man, it's very time consuming, but the money I'm making, the things that it's giving me the ability to do, right? It's like, if something happens to you, you want to affect change right then and there, It's kind of the appeal of like, why when I watch movies, I find the appeal in the combat, the action scenes. It's like, this guy's trying to kill me, or he killed my parents, or blah, 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 right? He did me wrong. Now I get the chance to do it back to him. I get to hurt him. I get to fight him. And those are the kind of moments that we kind of like really enjoy, where it's like, he killed my parents. Now I killed him and I got vengeance for them. You know what I mean? It's like, we earned that vengeance. And a lot of the times we're kind of like, I want to do something. I want to be able to earn my get back. I want to be able to earn my way to the top, or to earn my way to, the life that I want, essentially. And there are people who spend a lot of time in medical school, and they finally become that doctor, and they're like, finally, I put in all of that time, I put in all of that effort, every little step that I took was necessary, and it's fulfilling because now I'm a part of the medical, I have my own practice, or I'm doing my own thing, or I have my own specialty that I'm focusing on, and I get to make money, I get to earn it, I get to help people, I get to be a part of their lives, and I get to really affect change in that way. You know what I'm saying? So there's the life that is earned, the life that is pounded through our whole lives. And when I think about doctors, or when I think about lawyers, or when I think about, any long-term education job, right? Like you need to be in school in order to get all of those, to get those skills. I think to myself, well, I'm, here's how I equate it. It's like the youngest a doctor can be, or that at least I know of, maybe I'm completely wrong. So let's say you get into medical school is like 12 years, right? So you get into medical school at 18. The youngest doctor you can really be is at 30, unless there's something I'm missing, or maybe it takes some years more, right? But like the youngest you can be is 30, or like by happenstance or whatever, that's the youngest, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyways, all I'm trying to say is that like that's the youngest, I am not 30. I'm in my 20s, but it's just I kind of think to myself, well, they're not even what they want to be yet. They're still learning. They're still trying to get a grasp of it. You know what I'm saying? And then I think to myself, well, if you just really dedicate yourself, or if you really put the effort in to the education like they do, you can succeed at anything. But it takes sacrifice. It takes really risking it all, or putting it all out there, and missing out on the big things. When I think about doctors in medical school right now, I imagine they look at like social media or TikTok or any of the big places, and they see these kids, right? These kids that are just like going out there, and they're like making a bunch of money being entertainers, and they're like, man, like they're making more money than I'll make even when I get this job. You know what I mean? But it's about the fulfillment. What did they earn? They earned that doctorate degree. They earned that. They spent hours on it. Whereas for some people, it takes a certain degree of luck. It takes a certain degree of, I don't want to say it's all luck, but it does take skill, and it's a skill that anybody can learn. Anybody can pick up on. That's why there's so many people who are successful on TikTok. That's why there's so many people who are successful on social media. Like I'll go through, like there'll be people on there, and I'll be like, well, they have 10 million followers. And I'm like, I don't even watch this person's content. I don't even really like take in their stuff. And then I'll scroll through their Instagram or whatever, and I'll just look at them, and I'll be like, they're good at what they do, but I won't, I don't, personally, I don't follow them. You know what I'm saying? It's like nothing against them or what they create or what they do. It's just that like, the way that I'm equating it is just that kind of like, I don't follow them, and they're doing well without me. So like, imagine the multiple hundreds upon thousands of other people that are on there having hundreds of thousands of more followers and doing something that they really like to do. Like, all I'm trying to say is that like I can be a part of the group. I can do that too. It just takes time, effort, and really making the time or putting it into doing whatever it is that you want to do. And that's what's exciting about tomorrow, is that tomorrow we can start all over again and push through, make our lives what we want it to be. And there's also, oh my gosh, this person's making so much noise next to me. But anyways, they're the, oh, come on with the alarm. I hope you guys don't hear that, but there's an alarm outside of my room. Anyways, it's also about, are you serious? This is so annoying. Anyways, it's about the life that also happens everywhere we are, Just because maybe we're not as social or we have minimal interactions doesn't mean that life doesn't happen where we are or doing what we do, So you can be excited about that. Tomorrow you have to go to this place. Tomorrow you have to go to your job. And instead of thinking about it as the same old job, think about it as a new opportunity to make a joke to that coworker, or to be extra nice to the customers. Think about it as an extra day for you to put something out into the world. You know what I'm saying? Put something a little extra out there on your own. Nobody tells you, nobody says you have to smile more. Nobody says you have to be in a better attitude. Nobody says you have to be less tired or push through, right? These are things that we ourselves are capable of and in control of, and that makes tomorrow exciting, But tomorrow is also about new beginnings, the day's restarting, It's okay to start over. I think it first hit me when I finished high school. It was kind of like, oh, I'm done now. Now I have to start all over again. And I don't even know if it's worth it, or like people just kind of assume that it's like, you shouldn't go to college, or like, you don't know what you want to do with your life. You should do something else, or just get a job and save up money and go explore, figure yourself out, or take a gap year, figure out what you really want to do. And I just kind of told myself, like, either way, I have to start over. And I think it's important that we don't look at starting over as a negative thing, because once I got into college, it was new, but it wasn't anything that I wasn't capable of handling. You know what I mean? It's like, I graduated high school. That's an accomplishment. I can do this and accomplish this too. It's all about how you look at it. And it's like starting over. You're not really starting over. You're not starting over at nothing. I'm smart enough to graduate high school. I'm smart enough to get into this college, which I was accepted in, and I'm smart enough to graduate this place too. It's all about, I'm not starting at zero. You know what I mean? Like, if I had a first grade education going into college, yeah, I would suck at it. I would start at the bottom, and I would have to catch up, and I would have to learn things really quickly in a short amount of time in a way that will be really difficult to learn. But you can always catch up. But because I'm not at that level, I can figure it out a lot quicker, a lot easier, and I'm just better prepared for what's coming up ahead. And I feel the same way about everything I do now, There's a right way to do everything. And if you don't know it, you can look it up on YouTube, you can Google it. There's a right way to do anything that you ever want to do in the world. Anything. You wanna be in the rodeo? There's a perfect way to do it. It might cost a lot of money. You might not be able to practice as much. You might not have certain things, and those are the things that we can figure out. But whatever you want to do tomorrow, or whatever you want to do with yourself, you can definitely figure it out. It's not hard. It can be expensive, and that can be the real challenge. But I know that given the resources or with it, you can really accomplish anything. But anyways, and it's not like, and when I say, you can find it, it means that there's somebody else going through what you went through right now. There's nothing new on this planet that we haven't seen before, or that hasn't been, shown to the whole world over and over again. That's why songs resample other songs. That's why movies copy other movies, or take premises or stories, or basically over and over and over again. We keep getting the same thing, but we enjoy it because it's a new addition, a new way of presenting it, a new thing of it, And sometimes we're like, well, I want to be this original person that nobody can copy. And if they do copy me, then they're not like me, and da-da-da-da-da. And I was just kind of like, it's not the worst thing in the world to be like everybody else, especially if you're just starting, especially if it's just trying to figure out the basics, or just trying to learn how to be a part of the thing, Like when I see, for example, when I see these big time, streamers, I kind of think to myself, well, they had to copy the other guy before them. There was the popular guy Ninja, who's really big, right? And then he had to copy somebody else who was recording video games, and then they had to, so it was always like, I copied this person, or I was a part of this person during this time, and we were all content creators, or we were all screen recording and playing the same game at the same time and doing the same stuff. Like, it's not wrong to be like everybody else. It's not wrong to like play the same games that everybody else plays, or to record yourself, or to do the same kind of content, or to basically be an influencer. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, everybody starts from somewhere, and everybody can make their own following, and everybody can decide who to follow or what to look at, It's not something that really should or could weigh us down. It's about starting, Yeah, I used to copy this person's content. So what? Now I'm because of that, it helped me find my own footing. It gave me the opportunity to create something else that I want to do, or it led me to, or like cooking videos. I'm like, the cooking videos are all kind of the same now. You know, they all have the same kind of techniques that they use. But I'm like, but I still watch them because I like cooking. I like seeing those baking videos. I like seeing those cooking videos. They're short, they're sweet, they give you the recipe, they show you how to do it, they make it look really nice. It's like, it's quick, it's easy, and you're just like amazed by it. You know what I'm saying? So there's something about them that if they were like, well, you can't copy me because I only do that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, then it's like, well, then nobody can, you know, be as successful or be as good as you, right? But thankfully, that's not the case. Thankfully, anybody can start over. Anybody can follow in the footsteps of other people and try to make something their own, something that's for them, you know? And I kind of learned to, when starting over or when looking at new beginnings, it's like you have nothing really to fear because you're starting at the bottom, you know? You fail, all right? Hey, you failed? It is what it is, you know? Everybody fails sometimes. Nobody's perfect, you know what I'm saying? But going into the fire, you're soaked in water, you know what I mean? Like, you have a protective bubble around you. You're not going to get burned, you know? You might get lost, you know? You might not know exactly where you're going, but you run into the fire with no hesitation because that's where you want to go, because that's where it's at for you. And that's for anything. But having no fear over starting over or beginning again is a way for us to kind of it's a way for us to kind of dive head first and see how well we do, you know? Oh, I jumped head first and I landed softly. I landed head first. I hit my head a little bit, but I'm okay. I'm going to get back up and I'm going to do it again. You know? The constant repetition of it. No fear. You can't be afraid of it. You have to accept that. When you skateboard, you have to accept you're gonna fall and you're gonna scrape your knee. Like, that's a given. You can wear all the shoulder pads you want. You can wear all the elbow pads. You can wear whatever you want. You just know you're gonna fall. You're gonna get something. Something's gonna hurt. Something's gonna happen, right? But once you master it, once you get the hang of it, then it's like, well, I'm not afraid of the dip. I'm not afraid of the slide. I'm not afraid of that anymore. I get back up and I ride on the skateboard again because that's something I want to do or something that gives me enjoyment, you know? And that's a cool thing. And when we fail or when we start over again, we're testing our knowledge, you know? How can I do things the smart way? How can I do things in a good way? How can I start and test my knowledge, you know? I am smart. I can handle this. I can do anything. You know, it's a pressure, but it's something that we can do. And then tomorrow, it's exciting for tomorrow because there's always a mystery. What happens tomorrow? You happen tomorrow. You wake up the next day, and like I said, you have the possibility to do so many things. Things that we sometimes are so shy or so introverted that we don't really think of as options. You could really go into your car, right now, right this second, or the next day in the morning, and you can play the loudest music in the world and sing along the whole car ride to work, you know? But then we think to ourselves, it's too early in the morning. I don't want to be so loud. Da-da-da-da-da. It's like we sometimes try to protect our peace and we're like, maybe we'll start with something soft. And that's perfectly fine. But I'm just saying, you happen tomorrow. You can affect change, no matter how small. It could be the smallest thank you. Have a good day. How are you? Saying somebody's name. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, James. Hi, Jack. You can do it however you want it. But all I'm trying to get across is that tomorrow is about you. And you know what? If it's not about you, no, hold on. It is about you. But you know what? If nobody notices, at least you know you were doing something that you wanted to do, or you were being your best self, you know? I was so nice today, right? Like we don't compliment ourselves enough. We don't say, man, I was really nice to that person, or that was a really good interaction. Sometimes we miss out on those little moments because we don't appreciate ourselves enough. And I think we really should, because tomorrow you can be completely different. You don't have to be angry or bitter or upset about anything. You have an opportunity to make your life what you want it to be. And you should really focus on that. You should really pay attention to that. And sometimes, and you know what else? It's what everybody says. It's that, like, nobody's really paying attention. And you know what? You're going to die anyway. You're going to die anyway, right? Why not go for it? So, and oftentimes when I think about, okay, so we've been getting a bunch of new female rappers, you know what I'm saying? So like, first for a long time, it felt like we only had like Nicki Minaj, but then along came Cardi B, and then there came Megan Thee Stallion, and then there came this artist and that artist, and now it's like Ice Spice, and then they have Sexy Red. Like, they have all of these artists that are coming out of nowhere, and you're like, well, where'd they come from, right? Like, that's a mystery to us. Like, oh, it's just another female rapper that's popping, or that's gotten like a lot of attention because of one song, or all of these things that happen, and we're just kind of like, well, how did she get there? Like, where'd they come from? Like, I never listened to her music, or, you know, what happened there? Like, she was just nothing before, like a regular person that we would walk by, we wouldn't really care. And then the next day they're on the top Billboard chart list rapping with the other big rappers, and you're just kind of like, well, how did that, right? That's the mystery of tomorrow. Tomorrow, anything can happen and the whole world can change. And it sometimes feels like we're too late to the party, or we're not where we need to be, right? Like, sometimes you just kind of feel like, man, you know, I'm too old to be this, or I'm too old to be that, or, you know, I feel like I missed out on so much. There's no room for me, or this person already takes up that slot. And it's like, that's so not the truth. It's all about just putting yourself out there and working at it, you know? And that's what makes us so exciting about tomorrow, is that tomorrow everything can completely change. You can immediately be a part of the group. You can immediately be a doctor the next day. You could immediately be a lawyer. You could immediately be a veterinarian. You could immediately be an Uber driver, or a limousine driver, or a pilot. You could be so many things, but you got to work at it, you know? And then there's the mystery of like, well, why are they the way that, like that? Why are they like that, you know? Why are they that particular way, right? Like, going back to the female rappers, it's kind of like, well, she only has one type of flow, or she only, you know, she has a bunch of people writing for her, or she's not as good as she used to be, blah, 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 blah. And you're just kind of like, well, why are they that way? And if they are that way, then where are the real ones that are doing a lot better than them? You know what I'm saying? Like, the ones that have multiple ways of rapping, the ones that write their own stuff, like, where are they? You know what I mean? Why are they getting the spotlight, or why are they that way? And you just kind of learn that, like, you pique people's curiosity when you put yourself out there, you know? And slowly but surely, the work you put in will pay off. And it's also just the unexpected tomorrow. Anything could happen. And I mean anything, right? Tomorrow, the world could, let's say the sun automatically just burns as bright as can be, sucks us all in, and we just explode. I can't do anything about that. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, the earth could get hit by the moon, throw us out of orbit, and then we freeze, all of us, to death. That's completely possible. But you know what? I got no control over that. That's the unexpected. Those are the things that could happen to us, but we don't know. We honestly have no idea if that will happen. But I'll tell you this, if we take that same idea of the world or the universe or whatever's out there in nature, we don't know when an earthquake's going to come or not. But what you and I both know is that it's going to be unexpected. You can apply the same thing to yourself. You can apply the same thing to your own life. It's unexpected that I would show up to work happy. It's unexpected that I would show up to work and really give a good job. It's unexpected if it's really unexpected if I would talk to this person, or it's really unexpected if I acted this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can change. We can put it out there. And we can also be unexpected to people, right? And that's why we feel so complacent or so comfortable in the friend group or the people that we know that it's really difficult for us to reach out or to talk to somebody and be like, hey, do you want to be my friend? Like, we make it so difficult for ourselves. But that's kind of the unexpected part of things, is that, like, you live and you learn. You try things and it doesn't work out, right? And I feel like there's something there. The mystery of tomorrow is exciting. And tomorrow makes us better. We can be better tomorrow. So we messed up today. So we made a mistake today. I remember when I worked my first job, I had to plug in, there's like this syrup for the soda, and that kind of plugs into the thing, and that's what gives us, that's how you make soda essentially. It's the carbonated water mixed with the syrup, and then that makes it what it is. Well, I plugged it in, and then I guess, however I plugged it back in, all the syrup like made a huge mess in the back, and I was like, I'm never making that mistake again, you know? I'm doing it right. And then I did do it right. You know what I mean? I was totally capable of doing it right. And I did do it right. And because of that, now I'm better, you know? I can be better. And tomorrow can be better for us. A new start, a new beginning. And for so long, I was kind of like stuck in my head about, well, I wasted so much time. Now I'm never going to catch up. Well, this person has so many videos ahead of me. Now I'll never catch up, and they'll always be number one. And you know what I say to that? Is that, like, when I see a popular YouTuber or see a popular Instagrammer or this TikToker or this person or podcaster, it's like, I'm so far behind Joe Rogan. Nobody will ever listen to my podcast. You know, I'm using a terrible microphone. I don't have a video input of it. I don't have Spotify backing me up. Like, I'm terrible at this. Why would anybody listen to this? But trying at it doesn't make it wrong. And I could sit back and be like, well, I'm too late, so I'm not going to even try. It's like, time doesn't go backwards. I can't go back in time to when Joe Rogan started. I can't go back in time to when other podcasters started. I can't go back in time and take that joke or take that idea or use all of the things that I know now would be really big and popular. I can't go back to when that social media trend was popular and make it my own. I can't go back to all of these moments. And it's not about going back anymore. It's about today, you know? Yeah, that was the old trend. Nobody does that anymore. Do you go back and rewatch that? No, you don't, because nobody really scrolls back all the way down to the bottom. Like, I see a popular YouTuber and I'm like, oh, they posted a new video. I look at their newest video and I'm like, it's not amazing. Then I go to popular and I watch it and I'm like, that was really good. You know, how long ago was that? Oh, that was 5 years ago. It's like for me, I just kind of look at it as like, well, what happened? Like, you know, you would think that the more that they prolong or the more that they would work, the better the video would be, or the more viewers that they would get, or like, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, how did they not get that? Or what's going on there? And I was just kind of like, yeah, because that was the trend at the time, you know? And people may go back and rewatch those videos because they're really good, but that doesn't mean they're going to go back to every single video and rewatch every single one. Or if they do, it's a very minimal few. because I don't go back to a lot of videos and rewatch them. I go and I listen to watch some of the best ones. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't always go back and rewatch their oldest stuff. Sometimes it depends on the video, but if I watch something, it's gonna be in the now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think the best example of this is like Mr. Beast. Like, I don't go back and watch his first videos. They were terrible, but it's not about how bad they were back then. It's about the videos he's putting out now. The videos he's putting out now, oh my gosh, they're so amazing. They're so fun and creative, and they get people's attention, and they're unique and really big ideas with big productions. And you're just like, man, if I was Mr. Beast and I had that, of course I would be successful. Of course I would be there. But it's like, well, yeah, you weren't there when he was doing those nothing videos. You weren't there when he was uploading and everybody didn't watch those videos, right? But as long as you keep on trying, as long as you keep putting the effort in, you're going to get to where he is, you know? Of course, he started out a long time ago, so you can't equate where he is now to where you are starting, you know? But there's a key difference in when he started and when you're starting. You have the know-how. You have the knowledge. You can copy what he does. You can do what he does. It's so, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's possible, you know? You could start 100 different YouTube channels, post every single day on every single one of those channels. And guess what? Eventually, it's gonna work out because you're trying. You know what I'm saying? It could be the lamest video on earth. It could be a top 10 list of the alphabet, right? Which are real videos. And you're gonna get views, you know? It might not be great views, but then the next video is like, all right, what about the top 20 letters of the alphabet? Or this or that, right? Like random stuff. And you'll get there. You know you can. But sometimes it's all about, oh, well, I want to be perceived this way. Or I want people to look at me like this. Or I don't want to start at the bottom. It's like, or I don't want that video to define me. It's like no video defines you, okay? No video is a complete totality of a person. A 5-minute video or like a 15-second TikTok or whatever does not define a whole person, okay? It may show off how they look. It might show off a certain skill that they have or something that they can do, but it's not their whole totality. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. And I just feel like time doesn't go backwards, so you can't be stuck in what used to be. You have to be present in now, you know? And you have to be excited for tomorrow, because tomorrow you can make it so much better. There's no do-overs either. There's no redoing this life. So go for it. You can do it. And tomorrow is just going to be wonderful. Tomorrow is just going to be just full of surprises. And it's going to give you something that you know you need, you know, especially if you try at it. And it's just about time. How we use our time. Can our time be really useful? Can what we do tomorrow, the time that we have, special? And there's also, what's exciting about tomorrow is what we plan. Sometimes we have plans. What did you plan today? You plan to go to the gym. You plan to take your girlfriend or your boyfriend on a date, or you plan to stay in and sleep in. You plan to do nothing. You choose to relax, right? We have plans. Sometimes we plan stuff. And then tomorrow can be, well, tomorrow I get to plan something. Tomorrow I get to plan my trip, my vacation that I've been thinking about. Tomorrow I get to plan my son's birthday or my daughter's birthday or whoever's birthday. Tomorrow I plan to be with my friend all day. Tomorrow I plan to help this or to do that, right? Like planning stuff. And then there's also planning our successful future down the road. I remember when I was in college, they had this like degree plan, which was like, well, this is all of the things that you can do. These are all the classes that you can take. And they set you up and it's like, yeah, these are the classes you can take. These are the list of the classes. This is how you find out what classes they are, how to sign up for them, get into the class, and da 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 da. You can do the same thing with your life. Make a schedule. Figure it out for yourself. Well, I'm going to do this on that day. And then the following day, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to do that. And then I'll finally get there. You know what I'm saying? Plan, successful planning, while leaving room for yourself to fail. Nobody's perfect. Maybe tomorrow you decide, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to sell socks. And you know what? I don't care whoever sold socks before. They're not going to sell it like I do because I really like socks. I really know what people enjoy on their feet and whatnot. And then you realize, I realize it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I realize that I might fail, but in that failure, you're going to learn how to fail a business. You're going to learn how to fail at selling socks. You're going to fail at packaging socks or making them or any of those little things. And that is valuable experience. And it makes us better. And I guess the last thing I kind of want to talk about why being excited for tomorrow is just enjoy that feeling. Enjoy that excitement. I remember, I think I talked about this before, but I used to have in elementary school or middle school, I used to do this field day. And the day before, I would be so excited because I was like, man, it's just like a long recess. So instead of being inside and doing multiplication or addition or having to do language arts or science and any of that stuff, I just get to be with all of my friends from school and just have a field day, play games and with the whole class. That's cool, and it's not 30 minutes, it's the whole day. We're out there. And there's an excitement to that. And I would be so excited the day before I couldn't sleep. And then when the day came, I would be bright and early. So I only got 3-4 hours of sleep. And it's just this continuing cycle. And it's now thinking back on it, I really enjoy that I was excited about it and that I held on to that feeling. Because in the same way, we can hold excitement about all the mundane things in our lives, We don't get excited anymore about the little stuff. We don't get excited about driving a car that we've owned for a long time. We don't get excited about going into our own apartment. We don't get excited about watching a movie on our new TV. We don't get excited about putting on our favorite clothing. We don't get excited about being with our pets or our animals anymore, right? Because they're so normal to us. But enjoy that feeling. Enjoy the excitement of tomorrow. Enjoy the excitement of my life is going to be okay because I'm going to figure it out, And we're missing that. And I was missing that as well. And we can also enjoy sometimes fear. The fear of the unknown, the fear of the unexpected, the fear of the mystery of what tomorrow could bring. Tomorrow could bring bad things too. I'm talking only about the good stuff here, but like I said, the whole world could shift and we could freeze, or we could be completely still, or we could burn alive. You know what I'm saying? But feeling it makes us human, and we should feel it. And at the end of the day, what really stops us, as long as we're not doing anything illegal or anything that breaks the law or that hurts people, what really stops us? A lot of people say, well, my finances aren't there, or I don't have the money to do that, And those are real issues. I'm not going to deny it. Those are a very real possible issue. But I promise you, you can do anything you can with what you have. There is an option. Because I've seen there are people, or you know what it is that sometimes when I see people who come from nothing and they're able to do something like sometimes I see those kids from Africa and they will reshoot a whole movie trailer, shot for shot. They will copy it. They'll use what they have to mimic it. They're not going to get a whole building, but they can shoot their home, or they're not going to get the full desert, but they can make a scene that looks like the desert. You know what I'm saying? You can do what you can with what you have. And sometimes we forget that You can do anything you can social media wise on your phone. You can, right? But sometimes it's like, well, I actually need a videographer and I need a good camera, and like everybody else is using these really good cameras, and you're just like, no, no, no. Do what you can with what you have. Because that's where we kind of sink into our finances, or like the money. It's like we think we need all of this expensive stuff. You don't. You can do what you can with what you have. And in doing that, you can make your life what you want it to be. And you can upgrade. You can always upgrade. And that's something to enjoy. I have a phone. Therefore, I can try. Simple. And more oftentimes than not, what I was kind of talking about earlier, about like doing something feels better than doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, I'm not going to lie, there are periods where we have to wait. There are times where we have to wait. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to wake up the next tomorrow and be a doctor completely. It's over years of studying and practice that made you so smart and so capable to understand the practice of being a doctor. You know what I'm saying? And doing that feels better than waiting on it. You know what I'm saying? It feels better to do something right away than not do anything at all. So you could either try and fail, or you can try and succeed and then go on to the next step. You can upgrade again. You can figure out a way how to improve and get better and be better, and so on and so forth. So all of that to say, when you're excited for tomorrow, think about everything that you can be and everything that you can do. What are you in control of? You can control your attitude. You can control how you talk to people. You can control so many things. You can be better. You can plan stuff out. You can succeed. You can feel joy and excitement and great comfort in where you are in your life, or you can stay neutral. Keep feeling the way that you're feeling. Keep showing up to work tired. That's, you've shown up to work tired before, right? Why not shake things up a little bit? You know what I'm saying? So when you're excited for tomorrow, hold on to that feeling and make it what you want it to be. You can do it. So thank you guys so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys all next time. Thank you.